I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. You are on my show, Protein Power. I run the show every single Monday for you where we talk about everything regarding that nutrition of yours. From build muscle to burning fat to contest prep and everything else. We cover it all right here on Protein Power. Today, I'm going to dive into the top 5 contest prep nutrition mistakes that many competitors do make, and it can literally be a make or break for your show being a success or not. All right, so it's definitely something many of you competitors out there want to note, you want to pay attention to, and when you get something out of the video today, you're also going to want to subscribe to that channel and share out the video. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. You are on Protein Power. Alright fam, I said it in the intro, I'm going to say it again. I'm diving in for all you competitors today to talk about your top 5 mistakes that I've seen so many competitors over the years make and continue to make, and I hear about it and I see it and I know what happens, and I'm going to tell you how to avoid it. So let's dive right on in and get to the business. Mistake number 1 that I see so many competitors make on prep, it's actually insane, and every time I do it just makes me want to tear up, makes me want to, cry a little bit, is dieting too fast, okay? This is a huge problem that many competitors make. And now, you'll see it all the time, you'll hear about it, and honestly, Instagram and all these things really get in people's heads, and it makes them want to diet too fast, or their coach dieted them down too fast. Well, guess what happens? You're 16 weeks out, and you cut your calories by 1,000, and you're like, my show's out there, it's 16 weeks away, it's 12 weeks away, I'm gonna diet now, I'm gonna diet really hard, really fast, because I got, I wanna get lean, I gotta get lean, I'm so worried about the stage, I'm worried about the people I'm competing against. Well, guess what happens when you diet too fast? You're going to burn off muscle, ladies and gents. The longer time that you spend in a diet, which means a caloric deficit, calories down, the longer time you spend in a diet, the more body fat you're gonna burn, but also the more muscle you're gonna burn, okay? And guess what? I'll tell you this. It's hard to hear, but it takes a damn long time to build quality muscle, and it doesn't take very long at all to put on body fat. So what happens is if you diet too long, you're going to burn off the muscle that has taken you sometimes months, years to build. It's a mistake, because in every single thing, every single division we got out there, bikini, figure, wellness, men's physique, classic physique, bodybuilding, and others, we got those out there, and guess what the foundation of every single judging criteria is for every single one of these divisions? It's your muscle base. Bikini competitors, you're being judged on your muscularity. Trust me, you are. Your leanness, yeah, your conditioning's got to be right in every single one of these, but it can be a make or break for your placing depending on your muscle. They're looking at your shape, they're looking at your size, they're looking at your symmetry, your proportion, and all that in every single division. And if you burn off muscle, it is a huge mistake, something you don't want to do. I'm going to tell you, please don't do it. Please do not do it. Not to mention, it's going to be way harder for you to stay on track if you diet too fast, okay? Let's say, you end up actually starting 16, 12 weeks out, whatever, dieting. You diet too hard, too fast. Now you're 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks out from your show, and you're actually already pretty much, at your conditioning level, stage lean, in other words, and now you have to stay on these low-ass calories and wait it out till the show's coming in every single day. You're looking at everything in your house, every piece of food you got, you're smelling stuff that people are eating in your house, whatever, and you're like, oh man. And it becomes a challenge for your discipline, for your mindset, and for everything else. It just becomes far harder to actually stay on track with your prep and actually bring that physique that you have so far out to the stage, because basically you're gonna fall off. It's way harder, and it require a lot more willpower and a lot more discipline than it should, and likely it'll make your prep miserable even if you don't fall off the wagon. I also want to note, if you diet really hard, really fast, you're gonna go ahead and probably end up taxing your metabolism pretty hardcore. Okay, the more that you diet, the longer you're in a diet, the further your metabolism, your metabolic rate, in other words, will slow down, and this will happen. And when your metabolism slows down, it becomes harder to burn fat. It becomes very easy to pack it on. So when you're off stage, it becomes a serious problem for a lot of people. All of you out there seeing people rebound weight, we'll talk more about that later in this video. But the point is, you can't do a diet for too long, that hard, that fast. Dieting too fast is just a bad idea all around. 1, 2, 3! Now, my number 2 mistake that I see so many competitors make is actually just the opposite of mistake number 1. Go figure that that's happening, right? It's actually waiting too long to start your diet. And this is less common, I'll say for sure, because most people get in their head and they end up starting too early. But I have seen some competitors just like that are on the opposite side of the spectrum with their mindset, or coaches that are on the opposite side of the spectrum with their mindset, saying, you know what, we're in a good spot enough, we're going to start cutting, 6 weeks out from show. Well, you can do this. Sometimes you can get away with this. I'm not going to go ahead and put a blanket on everybody and say it's impossible. I've definitely coached some competitors on an 8-week prep before, and they've been successful because they were in a relatively good spot to start. But it's not the ideal, and I'll tell you why. It's not the ideal because a lot of times when you wait too long, you eliminate all the factors of variability you can have on this, right? Basically, you can have zero flexibility. You're going to have to go into it super hardcore, super strict, and a lot of times it's going to require you to do dramatic drops in calories, maybe add in a lot of cardio, and really just dive into this with your feet sprinting. You're not walking and running and then sprinting. You're just sprinting right out of bed, right? Imagine waking up in the morning, feet hit the floor and you're sprinting. That's basically what you got to do when you do these short preps. And honestly, a lot of times you can end up even not being prepared for your competition if all doesn't go as planned. Literally, for you to do a short-term prep like an 8 to 6 week or something like that, you're going to need to be pretty confident your body's going to respond exactly. And while, you can have a great training program, a great nutrition program, great coach, everything, depending on what's going on in your life and what your body really wants to do, your stress levels, your work, all these things, other factors that you can't even sometimes control can severely affect how your body's going to respond to even preps and practices you may have done before with great results. So you can oftentimes end up actually missing your competition date because you are not ready for it when you start that prep too late. And really, it doesn't give you any ability at all to have the flexibility on the prep. You can't be like, oh, well, today I can't go to the gym because all this crazy stuff happened, or, I got to adjust my macro. You can't do any of that when you do these crazy, basically you waited too long to start that diet, and it's just not worth it. Really, what you should do is always do a prep with a full term. I always suggest starting with a minimum of 12 weeks, no matter who you are, where you're at. Contest prep nutrition mistake number 3, one that I see all the time, is for some damn reason competitors think it's a good idea, or coaches think it's a good idea, to try a bunch of new foods or new dieting practices that they've never done before and do it for a prep. Honestly, here's the truth, fam. Your body is an organism that has been on the earth. It's been alive. It's been living. You've been eating. You've been, drinking water. You've been training. You've been doing all this stuff for your whole damn life, right? This is what our life is. We have adapted to certain things, and there's certain things we have not adapted to. And when we start doing crazy diet practices on preps, we say we got a show in 12 weeks, but we're going to try a keto prep today. We're going to try a paleo prep this time. We're going to try a high carb, low fat prep this time. A lot of times, guess what you're doing? You're throwing your body through a loop because it's adapting to something that it's never adapted to. And it's doing it with a target date in mind for when your show has to happen. Now, can this happen? Sure. Could you potentially have never done like a keto diet and jump onto that for prep and have success? Yeah. There's going to be anomalies across the board for everything in the world, but is it going to be ideal, and are most people going to have the best results from doing something they've never done? No, they won't. What will often work for most people is sticking to very similar things they've done to get where they are. And what I mean by similar is eating the same types of foods you've been eating, not throwing out all the staples that you eat all the time that your body's well used to and mixing in a bunch of random new foods that you have no idea how your body will actually respond to, because believe it or not, your body does respond differently to different types of food, and the macronutrient content and the vitamins and mineral content and the fiber content. Your body will adapt and change differently depending on what those things are, and a lot of times it's adapted to the staples and it's digesting them well, it's utilizing them well. You know as a person what you like, and that's why you're eating it, right? So throwing that out the window and bringing a bunch of new stuff, probably not the best idea. And overhauling your entire diet and trying a bunch of new crazy stuff, a whole different type of diet you've never done, definitely not the best idea on prep, because simply it's just not predictable. As a coach, I can tell you, I've worked with thousands of athletes over the years. What I always want to do is predict how that athlete is going to respond. When I go build a program, I'm putting everything in place, training, nutrition, all that, I want to know, all right, if I do this, I put that, I can expect by this week, that week, this week, that week, by show day, this result. I'm trying to predict the future as a coach. I want to plan for it. I want to see it. And when we bring in new stuff, when we bring in random things where I'm like, hey, I haven't seen you do keto. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, now guess what it becomes? A gamble on if you're going to be ready for your show, on if you're going to respond the right way, on what's going to happen, what if there's a side effects we got to undo. The amount of times people change diet and they instantly gain 10 pounds of body fat or something like that because their body was not adapted happens all the damn time, fam. So you got to make sure that if you're going to go into a prep, don't be doing anything crazy. Don't be doing anything extreme with your nutrition, your diet in general. Just bring what you've been doing and bring in, a calorie deficit that you need to get stage lean. Mistake number 4 that I see competitors making with their nutrition on prep is that they wait until the last minute, peak week, to get to their stage physique. All right? A lot of coaches I know are like big peak week advocates, and competitors live by it. They're obsessed with it. They are convinced that they're going to peak into their physique in 7 days if they're not where they are 10 days out, but doesn't matter. That's beyond me. All the science, by the way, shows none of this is real. Point is, though, a lot of people wait till that last minute with their nutrition. They're all that, right? They're trying to dial it in, It's not uncommon to hear these crazy practices that happen in peak week, like, hey, let's load up all your carbs and then we'll cut them all out. We're going to give you, 300 grams of carbs for 3 days of peak week, and then we're going to cut them all out, and you're going to get lean, shredded, feel great, whatever. Or the reverse. People do the opposite. The peak week nutrition shit drives me insane. It's crazy. Has no merit, no scientific value, never been shown to do anything, but here it is. People do it all the time because nobody questions bro science. Point is, when you wait until your last show, your last 7 to 10 days before your show to get into your stage physique, you risk not getting in it. Guess what? You also risk doing something crazy wrong, like upping your carbs too much or lowering them too much or doing whatever crazy practice you want to do or your coach is telling you to do that's going to actually throw that physique off to where you're not going to place the way you wanted to or the way you should have or the way that you could have. Because if you had just got your physique in a good spot, couple weeks out, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out for some people, and then said, okay, I am stage ready today, Now we're going to maintain it. We're going to cruise in. Smooth roll right into the show. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're not going to manipulate a bunch of stuff. We are here. We made it. The work is done. Now we cruise to show day. That is the goal all of you competitors out there should have for yourself and all you coaches watching for your clients, period. That should be the goal. That should be it. Get ready, a couple weeks before the show. Be ready to go and cruise your athlete in. And that's what I do. That's what I've done with hundreds and thousands of competitors over the years. Literally, hundreds and thousands of shows is we have done, hey, we're ready, let's cruise. Ready? Let's cruise. Ready? Let's cruise. I never, as a coach, want to be scrambling in a peak week to try to figure anything out, because I know, as a coach, that you can't do that. That there is no way to do that. Anybody that tells you can do that is trying to sell you on some bullshit. Most of the coaches that tell you that you can do this type of peak week stuff, by the way, charge you extra to tell you how to do it, okay? And it's just garbage. It's just garbage. What you want to do is be ready as a competitor, 2 weeks out from your show, 3 weeks out for some people's better, and then you say, all right, we're in a good spot. Let's see what we can do now. Let's bring in some more carbs, see how you look. A little bit, not a lot, not a big jump, maybe 5, 10, 20 carbs. See how you look. Oh, take that down. Let's try this. Let's bring this in. What's making you look best now? We already made it to the stage zone. So how do we make it look the best and show up on stage day? We're going to cruise right in. And this makes it so much easier as a competitor from a perspective of you don't have to worry about peak week. You're not going to cause your body some damage that a lot of coaches will cause you damage in peak week to your body. Ask around competitors. A lot of competitors that work with these coaches that do this type of stuff, they are, reset for months and potentially years after the comp. They have to recover themselves before they can go back and try to do a show again because of the damage done during peak week with all the diuretics and all the weird crazy practices and water manipulation, sodium manipulation. It's just ridiculous. But the point is, you should be ready and you should easily be able to cruise in. It makes it so nice as a competitor to not worry about that, not cause your body any of that harm. Get your head right, get your mind right, roll right in the show and have a great time. And I'll tell you what, when this is successfully done, it almost guarantees better placing. If you have become, in your mode, stage physique, 2 to 3 weeks out from your show and you're feeling good, you're looking good, you got the right stuff, you did the right prep, you did the right exercise, you are in the exemplified version of what your division should be, you are the example, and then you just cruise into your show, I'm going to tell you straight, a lot of times it's going to be a very good thing. Contest prep, dieting mistake number 50. We're talking about the fact that these competitors out there in the world, you don't do reverse diets post-show. And I feel like I've said this 8,000 times on this channel and 8,000 other times on Instagram and probably 12,000 times on Facebook. But the point is, reverse diets are so absolutely critical to every competitor, every division, every athlete, even people not competing. Anyone who's done a diet should strongly consider doing a reverse diet. And I know there's a lot of people out on the internet, a lot of coaches that say, no, that doesn't work, just go back to maintenance calories, just do this, just do that, ha ha ha. It's bullshit. At the end of the day, the science does show benefit from reverse diets, and I will tell you, as a coach that has, again, worked with so many people over the years, I've seen amazing benefits from reverse diets with my clients. So anybody that wants to challenge it, come fucking try it out. I'll show you how to do it, and you will notice the results, okay? At the end of the day, a reverse diet is basically a structured adding in of macronutrients and calories into your diet. So let's say you dieted down to X amount of calories, X amount of macros. Well, when we're done with the show, we don't want to go on a bender, we don't want to go on a binge, or we don't want to just return your metabolism, which we slowed down by dieting, to normal food intake. No. Because guess what? You're going to gain weight. You're going to gain weight so fast because your maintenance is now way lower. And if you go up 1,000 calories, you're gaining weight. You're going to gain weight on 500. You're going to gain weight on, more. And so what happens is, A lot of competitors get off stage, they go on a bender, they're going all crazy, they're going everywhere, and they're eating this, they're drinking that, they're, not tracking calories, and then you see in 3-4 weeks they've gained 20, 30 pounds, some people more, and it's insane. That is so detrimental to your body, it's so detrimental to your health, and let me remind you, body fat cells are resilient the more times they burn. So every time you gain body fat and lose it, gain it, lose it, gain it, lose it, your body fat cells get harder to burn. They literally become resilient to being burned. So it's not an ideal situation for a competitor. What is an ideal situation for a competitor is a reverse diet. Because when we do a reverse diet, we take your calories, we say, here's where we're at. We're going to slowly reverse out of this. So we add in some calories, add in some macros. What happens is now we start to rev your metabolism back up, right? Your metabolism slows down no matter what when you diet. To what level is going to be different. If you diet very hard, very extreme, it's going to be far worse. But even on a normal type of caloric deficit, a small one, you're going to slow your metabolic rate down because we're creating a new maintenance, right? We're losing body fat. We're coming to a new weight. We create a new metabolic maintenance. And that's exactly why you gain so much weight if you don't do this. But if you do a reverse diet and you slowly add these calories back in, you slowly add these macros back in, the metabolic rate starts to go up, higher and higher. And over time, what happens is we keep adding calories, we keep bringing more carbs, we keep bringing more macros, more food. But what happens to your body now is that you don't actually gain a ton of body fat. Because as we add food, the metabolic rate goes with it. So we got this going on. Two things at once here that support you. That support you being your best competitor. That support you having a healthy body, healthy metabolism, and a healthy body composition. So now, guess what? You can reverse diet out of a show, stay relatively within the same type of conditioning. You're going to gain some body fat because calories are going up, but not nearly as bad as so many people post-show. You're going to be able to boost your metabolism, eat more food, stay leaner. Now, guess what happens? You do this long enough, you can reverse diet yourself thousands of calories up above where you were at your prep, and you can still be relatively lean. So now, let's say you're several thousand calories higher than your prep, which happens all the time, even for the women out there. I got many women on TeamFFLEX that eat, 300, 400 grams of carbs during their improvement seasons. Happens all the time. When a prep comes up now, guess what? We just have to cut a little bit off. We just cut a little bit off, and you still feel like you're eating so much food, yet you're losing weight because your metabolism's strong, your calories were up, your body's feeling good. You're not going down to low macros on prep to get results anymore, because basically we have improved metabolic function, metabolic rate, and so on and so forth. And there's so many things I could continue to say about reverse diets, and I've done a lot of content on them, so go back, check the rest of the channel. But the point is, you absolutely, as a competitor, always want to have a reverse diet. And a lot of coaches don't do this. A lot of athletes don't do this, and I'll tell you why. They don't understand it. They have no idea what it is. They have no idea how to do it. They don't know the real science behind it, because if anybody took 10 fucking minutes to look at the real science of reverse diets, everybody would be doing it because it's there. The research is there. It's shown. It proved. It worked. It is there. You gotta take advantage of this stuff, you guys. This is not the old school days where, it's the 60s, 70s, 80s of bodybuilding where everybody was guessing, every, bro scientist in the gym was the guru. Well, now we have real science, we have real research, we have real things that back certain things and things that do not. And a lot of what I said today is all shit that you could look up that is proven factors that are real deal things that, you should really take into consideration. So with that being said, this is my top 5 tips for your contest prep nutrition and mistakes that you want to avoid making while you're on prep. Now, if anybody wants some additional help, whether it be workouts, nutrition, posing, training, anything related to contest prep, I strongly suggest you go to my website right now, TeamFFLEX.com. There will be a pop-up that comes at you. It's for a free coaching trial. This gives you access to TeamFFLEX coaching with me or one of my coaches, our private VIP mobile coaching app, all for free. Gives you the opportunity to pretend, basically, that you are a real client for the next 7 days. We're going to treat you just like a real client, and we're going to give you an experience that'll change your game whether or not you ever go further with us. You don't have to put a card in. You don't have to do anything. It's a totally free trial, and really, we do this as a give back because everything I did say today, these top 5 tips, I guarantee you, a bunch of you watching have been through at least one of them. Some of you have been through multiple. Some of you have been through all 5 of those and had serious issues with everything maybe you considered quitting competing. Well, we put together this trial to show you a different perspective, show you our approach, show you our take on coaching, our take on nutrition, our take on what you should be doing, and hopefully even if you never come back to us, you never talk to us again, you don't want to get a program, whatever, we want you to be able to take some knowledge with you that's going to help you on your journey wherever it may take you. And so again, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now, subscribe to that free trial. If you're a serious competitor, you want to do your best, you want to get further, you want to go to the pro card and beyond, then you go right now and you go do this, because it's an opportunity that is so exclusive, so beneficial, and it helps so many people, and that's what we do it for. Thank you for watching Protein Power. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. If you got something out of this today, make sure you subscribe, because it's just one of 5 awesome shows I run all week for you. Share out the video for all your competing friends that need to know the same thing, and blow some people's minds by sending it to them. All right, I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. Thank you for watching. Coach Rye is out.